everyone, my name is Vina, aka Miss WC Reader, and welcome back to my channel. And I'm in a different setup today just because I don't normally like filming in the living room because especially at this time of year, there's not any good lighting. I feel like between global warming and stuff, like I used to get great lighting in here and now I don't. And also like it's just foggy in general in the winter, so it's easier to film upstairs where there's a little more light coming in through the windows and I can kind of regulate the lighting a little better with my lighting tools where it's not looking so like orangey. But you know, holiday season, festive, we got the tree on, got a lamp on, we are making it work, cozy feels, you know. But I am seeing everybody like freak out about the TikTok ban. And my first thing is just like, we knew the TikTok ban was coming for months. I guess they figured the government wasn't going to follow through because our government never follows through with anything. But like, this was something that they've been talking about for the past few years and being serious about. So it's not a shock that they're going through with the ban that they said they were going to go through with. But now I'm seeing people scrambling and I'm just like, why weren't some of y'all diversifying and like pushing people to other platforms? Because there are definitely some influencers that I know are going to be able to just transition right over to the other platforms because they've already built their audience there. Like, people are mentioning small businesses. I remember just last month, a small business was launching something I was really interested in, and I'm just like, okay, is the launch day discount going to be on your website? And they're like, no, it's only on TikTok Shop. And I'm just like, but why though? You have a whole website. Not all of us feel safe buying things off of like these apps and putting our credit cards on them because they're usually not secure. I worked in banking. I don't like to put my credit card just anywhere because I literally used to process fraud claims. So I try to stay away from them. Like putting my cards into those social media apps, it just doesn't feel safe to me after watching so many people do it with like Facebook and Meta and getting fraud right after. And I see like a lot of authors are talking about how they drove sales through TikTok Shop, and I'm like, you have a website. Use your website to drive sales. Your website at the end of the day should be kind of your main base for people to find you, but I find that authors just put everything into specific social media sites and they don't remember to keep their website up to date with information. So when you go to their websites, it's like bare bones. They don't have most of their books on there. I'm like, keep a newsletter, a good newsletter. Like, you don't have to do a newsletter every single month, but I find like there are certain authors I like following their newsletter. Like Alexis Daria's newsletter is great. She only updates it a couple times a year, but she comes through with like usually like a free short, and she just gives us updates on her books and what's been going on with her life, and I appreciate that so much. And I like, a lot of times if you're just doing like a book giveaway, that will drive me to your newsletter immediately. But it's so fascinating watching the book community spiral about this, just because book talk has really been a dominating force the past 4 years, with publishers putting so much stock into book talk. And for me, I just could never really get into book talk because it felt less like it was about the books and more about the aesthetic of the books. Like, I'm somebody who decides what books I want to read based off of what people are saying about them, based off of what's actually inside the pages. Like, I do want a solid synopsis and things like that. And I wasn't really getting that from book talk. A lot of times I was just seeing videos where people would be holding up the book to, like in front of their library to whatever trending sound of the moment. And I'm like, that doesn't inspire me necessarily to come pick up your book because I don't, like, you're not telling me anything about it. And a lot of like the buzzwords now and tropes are so overwrought and they feel like they're in every book that that's also not like inspiring me to pick up anything either. Like, I want to know what about your book stands out. Don't just tell me it's enemies to lovers. Like, like what are the characters doing? Like, what's their occupation? What are they fighting towards? Even like the synopsises that are coming out for books next year, I feel like are so bare bones because the publishers were trying to appeal to that book talk audience that doesn't like to read a lot. And I'm like, you're just hitting like key points, but you're not really telling me anything. So what differentiates this book from that one over there? And books are getting more expensive, so I just don't have time to play these games. But it's interesting to see how YouTube will be affected with everybody running over from Book Talk to try and cultivate an audience. Because I feel like just like even a couple of years ago, it was easier for me to find new booktubers whose content I enjoyed. Now it's a lot harder because I feel like, again, like so much of it has been overtaken by the girlies who came from lifestyle, and they're very vlog heavy, like this is what I'm doing during my day, blah 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 blah. That's not my style. Like week in the life, that's really not my main thing. Because I follow people, we don't read the same books at all. So it's not that we have to have the same taste, but I really do want to hear you talk about books in an interesting way. I need you to be able to recap a book to me and make it sound like something that I can anticipate, something that I would be curious about. Especially in this day and age, and we have thousands upon thousands of books being released every year, and it's really hard to narrow down and figure out what it is that you want to read. Book content is fickle. Anybody who's telling you otherwise has not been in this space long, so that's like another thing. One day you could get 1,000 views on a video. The next day you can get like 50 to 100. I've seen that happen myself a couple of times this year. So like it's very hard to keep up with. Like if you're gonna try and trace the trends, you're gonna eventually burn out. Like as somebody who had more time to do content this year, and I was definitely trying to be consistent with it, I still wasn't like filming as much in advance as I thought I would, just because like the way things were just be like popping off 1 minute and then the next we're on to a different topic. And also like the books that are coming out right now, like after a while, if you're mainly reading, you get kind of overwhelmed because the books start to blend together and you don't have a whole lot to say. Like when you're getting a lot of average books in a row, I'm just like, well, how much can I tell you about this book when I'm not so enthusiastic about it? And that's one thing people don't talk about who do try to make like book content creation their full-time thing. It becomes hard eventually to figure out things to talk about on here. And like unless you're going to be like a drama channel where you are recapping whatever is going on a weekly basis on like Threads and Book Twitter, which is kind of dying right now, and like Blue Sky and stuff like that, you're not going to be able to sustain. Eventually you're going to get a little like tired. I commend the people who can read specific types of books for a vlog. That never works out for me. The couple of times I've tried it, like there's still to this day a video that I need to do like about middle grade fantasies that I still have not finished. I've been talking about that video for 2 years now, but like I'm still reading books to try and put together a proper rec video, and I don't like to just rec anything to you guys. I know some people are okay with just wrecking what's popular. Some people are okay with recommending things they didn't read. I don't want you guys to come back to my channel and being like, that book was awful and Vina recommended it to me. Like, I want to be able to be like, no, I read it, I enjoyed it, or even if I didn't enjoy it, I think this type of audience might like it. And I do try to give you books that I enjoy just because if I enjoyed them, I'm hopeful that somebody else will like them too. And also, I'm trying to give you books that you might not be seeing everywhere else, which is hard as well. So much of what gets popular, like content-wise, we're seeing the same books over and over and over again. And I know to an extent you do have to kind of show some people the same books so that they can actually pick them up. Like, I used to not try to post the same book too many times, like, on my platform because I'm like, oh, I need new and fresh books and stuff. But then I realized some of the books that I really want you guys to pick up, if I talk about it once or twice, you guys aren't going to pick it up. I think they say you need to show somebody something like 6 times before they really get into it. So I'm like, okay, I want you guys to read this book that nobody's really reading. I need to talk about it a lot more. Even books like I didn't necessarily like love, like they weren't 5 star. I'm like, I want more people to talk about this book so I can discuss it with you guys and we can talk about like what we liked and disliked. So I'm gonna keep talking about it and hopefully you guys catch on. But like it is definitely so hard to maintain. As somebody who had, again, a lot more free time to do content creation this year, as I am on the job hunt, and job market is a mess. That's a whole other drama right there. Trying to come up with things to say all the time and post on here is difficult. I try to do a lot of shorts. Um, if you notice, a lot of the stuff I do in shorts is not like my bookish content. Like I'm in my like mood this year where I'm just like I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm not monetized, so I can put whatever I want on my channel. This is my platform to express myself. And this year one of my biggest hobbies has been makeup. I've been enjoying like playing with different looks and trying different products, especially like on a budget. I'm great at finding like the budget buys. So I have been trying to showcase different looks, and it's funny because I get more views on my reels that talk about like makeup and stuff versus my reels where I talk about books. So that's interesting. A lot of people like talk about wedding vlogs. Vlogs don't do well on my channel like they do some of the other people. If I do a long form blog, it's lucky if it cracks 100 views. So that's why you'll see me do mini vlogs sometimes. And even then, curating a mini vlog can be a challenge. And I'm like, it's a lot of work to get like the proper clips and to be able to transition them and this and that, and then find the trending audio to put on them. I'm like, I'm trying to live in the moment. I did a lot of travel this year, so I'm just like, I don't want to do too much. I want to give you guys a glimpse into my life, but I also want it to feel authentic, and I don't want to just be like filming every single thing. So like it again, like it's a struggle sometimes, and you have to realize, you know what? I don't have to film everything. I don't have to make that vlog. I don't have to post that video. If I don't like how that video came out, I can scrap it and let it be, because I'd rather give you guys a good product versus just throw something up to say I threw something up. And I'd rather post something that I'm super enthusiastic about. Sometimes I'll film a video and I didn't like how my tone sounded when I viewed it back, so I will just scrap that. And like, yeah, it's work. I put in, like, I got my hair done, I got my makeup done, I sat down for a couple of hours, I went to edit it. But if I don't love it and I find it boring, you guys are probably going to find it boring also. And I feel like people get stuck in that rut too, where they start just throwing up the same type of content that they feel like will get views. Like, I'm gonna read all these popular books so I get views because I've been away from YouTube for a while, or I'm going to just post a book haul because I know that will get me instant views. And if you're gonna be like going from platform to platform chasing views, you're always going to be disappointed. So this was a little bit of a ramble, but I just wanted to talk about it, especially because I see people like freaking out. Like, content creation is very, very hard to sustain. You kind of need to get in your niche, make your money, build your audience, and see if you can funnel them into something else. We saw that in the beauty community. And book content creation especially is very fickle. If you're trying to make this a full-time career, I'm sorry to tell you that that's just not going to be sustainable. You're going to have to find different ways to branch out. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. If you like this video, make sure and hit that like button. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!